show on the road, man.
Well, you're the boss. Start us off. Do the intro, man.
Yeah.
What's our new intro for 2019?
I gotta get you to shut up for a second so I can do it.
What's our new intro? Go ahead.
We don't have a new intro.
Yeah, you do, man. Go, don't hide from them. Show them your new intro.
We've got several things coming though for 2019 that we plan on working on here, but as of right now, none of that's 100% official. So
okay, we're gonna make them wait a little bit.
We're supposed to get together as a group, I think next Friday, and try to flesh everything out.
So we pretend like we're working and just get really tore up.
So
like we always do.
Yeah. Booze and.
Yeah, we get those wonderful drunk ideas like, hey man, why don't we start wearing like?
What? Where are you going with that?
You know what? I don't want to be the first person to say something super inappropriate in 2019. I'm gonna let someone else start it for once.
Welcome to Dice Junkies. I'm Xenodamus. I'm here with
Q,
and let's talk about 2018. This is I guess the first episode of this year. I guess season 3, if you want to call it that.
Holy crap, we're keeping up with seasons.
Sort of. I mean, this is our third year.
It is.
So
I have not
start of our third year. So yeah.
We're now 3 years old, long running.
When we're not 3 years old, we're a little over 2. We're starting on our third. You see.
Man, we lasted longer than I thought. I gave us like 3 months.
Oh well, you know. That's just because you're a dick.
Man. No, actually, it's because I thought you were going to drag us down. You're a talentless hack. Me and Damien were all the talent. Really.
Oh, well, you know. Sadly, we don't have the hands anymore on
He's
the
still
show,
out there sometimes popping in for a horror session.
Yeah, well, yeah. Let's, I guess, before we jump right into the 2018, let's talk about anything in that news that interests you that you want to talk about before we jump into, let's talk about now a little bit and then we'll talk about then.
It's kind of like weird because all of the new news is just continuation of existing stories. Like there's a lot less new stuff happening as much as there is. Guess what also happened to insert major company in gaming or comic or news world. So
there's a lot of continuation.
Yeah. It's like sequels. You know what 2019 will continue to be? The years of sequels.
Yeah, well, I mean, Kevin Smith says on his tweet it will be the year of reboots. Of course, that was also just the fact that they're doing a new Jay and Silent Bob movie. So
I actually could use some reboots because I'm tired of the sequels. What's going to be the reboot of Blizzard?
So I don't know, man. No, but anyway, I mean, the only thing I really saw that jumped out at me was it looked like Cyberpunk 2077 is expected to be out fourth quarter of this year.
God damn it, that's practically 2020.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing that I think they said Game Reactor points out that their fiscal year won't end until March 2020, so it is possible that, being they're saying Q4 2019, that they have that wiggle room to where they could push it back as far as March 2020 without ending up in a new fiscal year.
I mean, I want quality, but they seem to be up to gameplay, so dang, I was hoping they were going to get a little further along.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. They say it's like fully playable and everything, so it's up in the air on whether or not.
Yeah. That's what I fell off following, man. When the heck is Pathfinder supposed to officially release their second edition? Like that. Like I went in the store, I'm still seeing playtest books.
I don't know, man. Yeah. I mean, originally it was something like summer, but CD Projekt Red in this game, man, I'm 100% can't wait for this. I hate that it's going to be pretty much a year still.
I know,
before we get a hold of it, but
because there isn't even any really hardcore like competition for it currently on the roster that I would be looking for.
Not that I can, not.
This is the Cyberpunk game to be waiting for.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, there are definitely no other Cyberpunk games that I know of. I mean, there are some other big games. That Outer Worlds or whatever should be interesting. I don't know when it's expected to come out.
I kind of feel like
but
that's
it'll probably be coming out probably
cyberpunk.
mid to late 2019 as well.
I gotta admit, Outer Worlds got me hype. I try to avoid the hype because I have been greatly disappointed a lot of times. But Outer World, because the company's got a good rep and they seem like they've got they're trying to be, but they're smart too because they're jumping in right when there's a gap when everybody's kind of falling out of love with the last dystopia.
Well, I mean, it's a shot at I think it's a shot at Fallout 76.
That's what I was just doing. The last dystopia sci-fi, like they're kind of going like, "Hey, here's a game, and we won't suck."
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so Cyberpunk 2077, fourth quarter 2019. That's going to be interesting.
Jeez, the way they're talking, that may be on new consoles.
I guess, that was the thing. That was the big fear. A lot of people, because I think the PS5 is scheduled for 2020, maybe.
They've been talking about it.
They're guessing. I mean, there's not an official schedule or anything. And a lot of people were afraid that Cyberpunk 2077 wasn't going to come out until the next gen of consoles. Because we already heard, I think, Bethesda say next Elder Scrolls won't be until next gen of consoles.
I thought they recently altered that and they were trying to push Elder Scrolls 6 out a lot faster because of all this bullcrap they've been going through.
I don't know, man. I mean,
now it's been a hearsay thing, but they've been saying that Elder Scrolls 6 has been moved up dramatically in a release date.
I mean, if they do it, can they honestly pull it off? Because I mean, the thing is they said that current gen systems weren't going to be able to handle what they had planned. So would they be compromising then? I mean, that would sort of suck for the console gamers.
Oh yeah. I wanted to go just kind of look down my nose and be like, well, for us PC gamers, my computer will already be upgraded by then, so it won't be a problem for us either way. But for the plebeians, they may have the problem of actually being like, oh no, our crappy consoles can't keep up with the next gen tech.
Well, and that's also another question. If they do push it out faster to reach the current consoles, does that mean that they're going to cut back on the production value in general? Because then it may hurt PC as well. Well, I mean, at this point, do we even know if it'll be mod supported without you having to go and buy them on the Bethesda store?
They've learned that lesson. I can't believe they might be doing that with the online, but I cannot believe they'll release a single player Elder Scrolls.
Are you sure? I mean,
well, if they do, then there'll be a new Inner Worlds. There'll be a new Inner Worlds instead of Outer Worlds. It'll be a fantasy setting. There are people ready to pick the corpse of Bethesda.
With everything that Bethesda's done this past year, can we put the same amount of trust in them as we have for the Elder Scrolls and stuff like that?
Somebody will literally create a company called Vulture, and it will just literally pick the corpse of Bethesda and go like, oh, you don't want to do fantasy anymore? Well, we'll let them have that, and then here's our game. Yeah. It's called Old Documents. Ancient Documents. Boom.
I mean, that's all I'm going to say, man. I mean, it's just, Bethesda's been doing some stuff, man. They've been getting their hands dirty.
Well, in a little bit of defense, because that's what we can roll into that. There you go, segue. 2018. What changed about our genres, our fields, comics, games, movies?
Yeah.
One of the biggest one with gaming, I have to admit, is that a emphasis on quick money. Is my opinion. Debate me on this, we're wrong, but I feel like the larger companies got way more focused on how do I make money the fastest, not the most long term, just the fastest right now. How can I get as much money as a person's willing to pay me today?
I mean, that's not exactly correct, because if that's the case, then you just up the prices of games. It's they want that money, but they also want to milk you. They're very, it's how long can I milk this teat before it runs out of resources.
Well, when I say long term, I mean super long term. Yeah, I'm thinking of we want loyalty.
I know what you meant. I'm just saying it's not quite as immediate as you were making it out.
That's true, but they've completely given up on loyalty. They do not care about rep at all.
And that's the point, Blood Axe. Blood Axe says all money isn't good money, and that's sort of the point there. is
Let's take a moment.
way that
Blood Axe, man, welcome back. Haven't seen you in a little while.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've also been out for a while, so we sort of took the holiday season.
Well, this
off.
is my moment to just brag on Blood Axe. Has like completed a degree and become a respectable citizen.
Right.
Now he's associating with us again, so his rep's going to go back down. But for a moment, he was a model citizen and family man. Now he's associating us with his dirty degenerates again, man, and we're glad to have you back.
Well, he was getting some learning, so
yeah. Well, he's trying to get that good money.
Yeah.
The way you're supposed to. Quality over quantity, baby. See? Look at that. Quality. But no, I mean, that's the thing. You're right. It's become like we want to make the game the cheapest we can make it and get it to keep producing money, which works for now. But the thing is, when you make your next game, people won't pre-order it. Because pre-orders are based solely on reputation, period. It is, do I trust your company enough?
Battlefield.
Yeah. Do I trust your company enough to give you money ahead of time and pay you extra money before you give me anything? What I believe they're going to do is in their attempt to get that milking, they're going to kill their pre-order market. Because here's the thing. The worst part is the price dropping. You're an idiot if you pre-order a game now with the way games have been known to go down as much as dang near 50% and as little as you used to have to wait. Now it might happen in a month. Like I can go get Fallout 76 dirt cheap.
Well, and I think that may actually be a reason. We pulled up a Metascore earlier. Is that still available?
Oh, yeah, that was beautiful.
Yeah. So I think this is also where some of these Metascore variants may actually be coming from. So with the gaming market, you have these games. They're not necessarily bad games on the surface, and then that's mostly. With a lot of the critics, they jump in the game, they play the game. As far as all the DLC and all that crap is, they don't really tend to pay that much attention to it.
They also don't tend to play the whole game, and they get it for free.
Yeah.
So 83% for this free game I got that came with all this nice free swag.
And we've seen this a huge amount this past year where the Metascores, our rating scores have been highly different between reviewers and actual players. I mean, the players are definitely showing in their ratings that DLC and microtransactions and stuff like that is hurting the overall playability of the games.
Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, the number of games that when it comes out and they mess up
look
the
at the user reviews. You got 68 positive, 58 mixed, 248 negative. Like that's a huge. And then you go over to the critics reviews. You have 29 positive, 7 mixed, and no negatives.
But in there, I never thought I'd defend critics, but now that you really brought up a good point, the way a critic interacts with a game is vastly different from the way a consumer does because they don't pay for it. Professional critics, especially at these sites, they don't have to buy their game, so every game is free. So they don't feel the same way. They don't do their microtransactions. If they do get something, they're usually paid for by the company or their fans. So that's going to be real different from me who paid $90 for a game. I'm going to look at it way differently than someone who paid nothing.
Yeah. Well, that and won't be invested in it like a normal player.
Yeah, you're not worried about long-term playability. You're moving on to the next game. Yeah. Whereas I've got to try to get all of my money out of a game and 2 weeks in, you might be bored, especially for a game like Destiny 2, which has not got a core ending and is really a game you're supposed to keep playing. Replayability is a big factor. Not replayability a month later, replayability 3 months later, 4 months later.
Yeah. Go back over. So,
look at Fallout 76.
If you go to the buy Metascore, like you had clicked down at the bottom. The buy Metascore versus the buy user score.
Wow, 2.6. That is a huge gap.
But yeah, so buy Metascore. Now RimWorld, I've got to check this game out because it's got high Metascore and high user score.
Sounds like their type of game.
But
take that how you want.
Yeah.
So it sounds like a sci-fi.
No. I mean, I'm assuming it's based off the books. Or no. I'm thinking of something different. Never mind.
What are you thinking of, Discworld?
I was thinking of Discworld, yeah.
Now that one I'm familiar with.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
Like, can you click RimWorld? I'm mildly curious. Let's see what it is that Xeno will be coming back.
I've seen it on Steam. It looks like an indie game.
Yeah, that's sci-fi. That's what you're talking.
But yeah,
thing.
it's sci-fi. But I don't know. Google RimWorld. See if we can get a trailer or something like that real quick. But yeah, no. I mean the meta scores and the user scores, and even like we said, we saw the top 50 from one company, and it's definitely I don't think I could get into that.
Is that the game or is that a? Oh, that really is it. I thought that was like an app commercial playing in the middle of the game.
I mean, it's probably a fun game. I just don't think I could get into the graphics.
Oh, it's one of those types.
It's
like
online.
The Vault.
It's an MMO.
Yeah. It's also one of those survivor management games. Those are popular.
Yeah.
But it feels more like an app game. It almost feels more like a mobile game. That looks even like more like a mobile. Like it reminds me of like the Vault, whatever, the Vault Manager thing.
Yeah. I don't know. It still could be interesting. I may check it out, depending on how much it is. Anyway, so out of 2018, man, like we're talking games, we're talking crap on some AAA companies, stuff like that. What do you put at the top, man?
Let's see. I mean, at this point, the negative for gaming.
Anybody in the chat room wants to shout out their top game of the year too? You're welcome to do so.
God of War. To me, really is an amazing game because of the fact that it completely dodged a lot of the BS. They made a complete game. I mean, one of my most pleasing things a moment ago was we went to go see if God of War had DLC. And one of the cool things is, no. Like, God of War was a complete game from beginning to end.
I'm pretty sure I heard there was going to be. But the fact that there hasn't been yet
means that they made the game to be a good game, not to
and it was
milk. And now if they put out DLC, most people will see it as a positive thing because it wasn't put out immediately and, you had to get it to get a full story. It is a well-told story from beginning to end that did what it needed to do.
Yeah. This is a game that I played from beginning to end, actually completed 100% achievements on. Which is a feat for me because I'm a completionist and I go around and want to find every little thing, but I also get burnt out on games and switch between games a lot. And I did not switch over to a different game the whole time I was playing this. Like I just grind the heck out of this game over a week or two, and oh man, it was so good. Great story. And I've played some of the previous Gods of War and they were okay, You can honestly jump into this game with very little knowledge of the previous Gods of War and still enjoy the heck out of it.
Yeah, I mean, it was a well-written game that did not, like I said, ever feel like a cheap money grab. It's one of the only real AAA games that I felt like came out at AAA quality. From beginning to end, and that's why it stands out. Is just because it feels like a real AAA game, like what we used to get.
Yeah,
and don't anymore. So that's what I'd like to continue to see from AAA companies. Charge me, $60-$70. Give me a great game.
Does the Spider-Man have DLC already? I think it does.
But it's mostly other suits. I don't think... Well, no, they do have a bunch of extra missions, but I don't think it's necessary for the story. It's just, do you want to play more Spider-Man? I haven't heard negative things about the DLC.
Yeah. It's another AAA game that came out that has been highly rated, and I figure...
Now, it has a lot, though. I think they keep putting out more quests, but it feels more optional. I haven't heard anybody go like, oh, the real ending is behind this new DLC. At least not on any of the
the final
reviews.
DLC launched December 21st. With the Into the Spider-Verse suit.
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, no, they hit DLC for that quick.
Yeah. But see, the thing for me is that I do like DLC for games I'm enjoying.
Yeah.
I just don't like to feel like I need it. I feel like
this
is
a game that I have not played. I've watched a couple other people play it, and I've heard stories of other people play it. Everybody says it's a really good game. I will probably pick it up. I'm just not big enough into this style of game to pay the $60 price tag.
I'll admit that I've become very much an RPG and a little more story oriented. So action games, just pure action games, like the new Devil May Cry, they don't catch me.
Yeah, and I guess that's one of the things that got me so much on the God of War was the extra RPG elements that they sort of added into it were really cool. And the emphasis that they put on story and everything.
Well, it goes back into what we said, dude. I burn out quick. I don't really, because here's the thing: when I get a game that's like kind of like that, it's exciting for about a month.
Yeah.
Then I burn out.
Now I thought, and I haven't seen this one on the couple of lists that I pulled out, but Kingdom Deliverance, man. Like, and I guess I'm a little wishy-washy on Kingdom Deliverance because when it came out, I thought the game was awesome. Some of the changes that they made and updates, I thought weakened the quality of the game.
Well, according to Steve, you can save 50% on it now. So, man, I can get into it and save a lot of money you didn't.
Yeah. But some of the
me.
updates, I think, simplified some stuff that I thought wasn't really needed to be simplified.
That's the whole point of the game was how complex and detailed it was. Yeah, that didn't sound good.
And, like they, I will admit, the difficulty of saving was a bit annoying. Bless you. The difficulty of saving was a bit annoying, but
the limited save items, man, that had to be fixed to me. Like that was something that literally made the game a no buy for me. I would not buy the game as long as. But
they added a save and exit option, which now you still can't scrum save basically, but they sort of made it where you almost can because all you got to do is run to a bed, sleep for an hour, and it auto saves for you.
And so they put it more like Fallout Survival mode, Fallout 4 Fallout Survival, where you do save when you sleep.
Yeah, because previously it only saved when you drank alcohol. A special alcohol that was hard to find.
I was going to say, you should have been saving easily.
That was very limited. And that alcohol actually, when you loaded the game, you'd come back with drunk with a penalty for being intoxicated. So
that's debatable and it's fun.
And the rest of the time, it just saved when you completed a quest. So. They made it where you can sleep save and several other things, which I think was fine. The combat I think became a little easier with some of the updates, and the DLC that didn't really add a lot of value. I don't think. But still, really good game. Really great melee combat, especially with it being 50% off right now. If you haven't played it and you're not. There's no magic, stuff like that. So, if that's what you like in your fantasy game, you're not going to get that. This is very historic. It got some crap from some people because of the way that women were portrayed in it.
I was complaining about the lack of fantasy, but then it wasn't supposed to be, so.
But, it's historic, so they
Yep, and that's all we will say about that being an issue in games of where the reality of the way things were back then are our problem. So, movies. Dude, that's a whole show by itself.
Yeah, no, I wasn't going to go deep into it. I was just saying that did come up, and maybe that's why it didn't get maybe on some of these lists.
Are you trying to imply that maybe women didn't used to be treated that well in the past? Unheard of.
Exactly. Delete, exterminate. No. So
do we want to start on that then? Do you want to talk about some of the TV series that came out this year, how they went?
Do we want to talk about? We can talk about some TV.
You've been our local when we don't have one of the great guys over from discussing Who and discussing comics. You know, we don't have one of those great guys. They're doing their show. I'm going to go check it out. They're going to be doing the reviewing the season special.
Yeah,
of course, talking about Doctor Who.
I think they got posted up. Yeah, Doctor Who. I'll be honest, dude. New season of Doctor Who came out this year. I didn't find it to be an improvement over the previous season, which I also didn't like. So
yeah,
the writing was still bad, in my opinion. I couldn't get into it, man.
Bored me. I mean,
like
you
I
tried
was
to get me to watch it. Oh.
I was already burnt from the last season with Capaldi and some of the previous stuff with Capaldi as well. Not being that great of storytelling, and then big changeover, like really good chance of bringing in some really good new stories and stuff like that, you know. And they didn't do it, you know. Which I thought they had a really good chance with Capaldi because they had that chance of that grittier, older Doctor. You know, they could have done that personality of the Doctor. It's not necessarily unheard of because, I mean, we have previous Doctors that were a little more rough around the edges, and they didn't do that. So I keep seeing them missing opportunities, and this season to me was just another missed opportunity.
You know what? I gotta describe it. To me, the last season felt like a caffeine high because the first episode seemed really good, and then it was like the crash, and it got boring. I couldn't sit through the later episodes. Remember, he had me over. Zeno tried to have me watch a few episodes, and I was just sitting there like just bored out of my mind. And I was like, what happened? It was like they went, bam, premiere first episode. Wasn't that cool? Then they went, we're done. That's all we had. What are we going to do? I don't know. Let's tell some stories that have been told 100 times before. Let's just do some more. Hey.
Yeah. So, yeah, that happened. And let's see. The death of Marvel Netflix series, man. I mean,
man, they killed off all of it.
They're killing off so many of
those. No more Luke Cage, no more Iron Fist, no more Daredevil. I was like, dang.
Yeah, no, Bloodaxe. The third, fourth episode is where I'm actually still at. I haven't been able to push myself through it. I've have a couple friends who have sort of kept me up to date on what was going on that I trust, and they haven't given me a compelling enough reason to finish watching the series. But
he's tried. He'll go back and go, did they stop yet? No? Okay. And he just doesn't go watch it. The funny to me is
anyway, Netflix and all that, man. That's just that's a lot of drop-offs.
Yeah, man. New shows that don't catch my attention, except for Happy. I liked Happy. I'm enjoying Happy right now.
That wasn't necessarily a new show. That came out on Sci-Fi Channel a year or two ago, I guess. Okay. And then
I should have known because it was actually good.
It hit Netflix just recently. And if you have a Netflix and you haven't watched Happy, check it out. It is hilarious. Now it is not family friendly. Don't. I mean, it's rough, man, but it's good. It's a Christmas show.
It reminds me of Bad Santa in all the ways it could.
Yeah,
but finding out there'll be no more Luke Cage.
Yeah, it's
really
like Die Hard meets Max Payne meets Bad Santa.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good way. That is a disturbingly good way to describe that. With a little bit of Deadpool, kind of, but no, man. Like I felt like Luke Cage ended too early. It did not end on a good stopping point to me to go, we're not going to do any more of this, because I was like. Because my first thought on the last scene of that was, what the hell's going to happen next? And it's like, screw you, you'll never know. Oh.
Well, and they could do it with Defenders. They could pull
They
some.
ain't said nothing.
But, I mean,
I think that'd be awesome if they said, we're doing this because we're just going to pull
Heroes for Hire, or however they want to do it next. I don't know.
It'd be great if they went full-on Heroes for Hire and just made that the new series, but they haven't said anything, you know? And then what they got planned for the next Punisher just was heartbreaking. So I was just like, oh, man. I got a feeling that series, they're going to run that in the ground and kill it off, you know, so we'll see. I no longer am excited for the Netflix Marvel line.
Yeah.
They've made me lose interest.
No, definitely some tension there that, I mean, I'll definitely still watch it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, anime's been better to me. Like, there's been some good anime series. Like,
we can shift over to anime then. Well, Is there anything non-anime TV wise that you want to bring up? I guess before we switch over to anime. Then?
I haven't seen a lot of new series that caught my attention. I mean, there's been great movies. Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse may be the best animated Marvel movie I've seen in years. I mean, a slight retake on the story of Miles Morales, an interesting way of doing the multiverse theory.
Yeah,
I still consider it one of my top movies of the entire year.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I've definitely I've heard that on several accounts that Into the Spider-Verse is definitely up there. I mean, we had Avengers this year, Infinity War.
It did not disappoint. I'll enjoy it. I'm looking forward to the next movie.
Castlevania second season, hell yeah! Oh. Thanks, Papa Casual. He
stopped me from anime, man. He pulled me off because I was getting into that.
Yeah. But I mean, we were on Netflix, but yeah.
Castlevania 2 second season was amazing.
It was good.
Was really good. I'm very pleased with it. A lot of new characters. Isaac, man. Mm-hmm. You know, a lot of good characters.
But yeah, if we want to talk about animation, we'll definitely talk about Castlevania second season. It was really good. Hit the spot right on there. Oh shoot, dude. I mean, there's I guess the editor's pulling up some Castlevania.
Keep going. Let's make a rush. I want to see her try to keep up.
I was gonna go ahead and switch gears, but I was gonna let her do it because I was like, she's putting in the effort. You know, yeah. you gotta let the editor feel like she's worth something.
Sir, she is worth something.
That's my goal for 2019. Be nicer to the editor or meaner. I don't know. I hadn't figured that out yet, but I will as we go along. Just like everything else.
I ain't in it. I don't pay any. I don't sign anyone's paycheck.
Don't give me that look unless you pull up the editor cam. You can pull up the editor cam and give me that look, but.
But then I can't give it to you because I'm turned around.
Yeah, like pull up the editor cam and show the back of her head. That is what would happen.
That brings up a whole other thing. But so Castlevania second season.
Would that boost the drop rating?
Let's see dude. Are we talking about anime and cartoons?
Oh, yeah.
2018. We got to talk about Goblin Slayer.
Yes, Goblin Slayer was amazing.
Goblin Slayer was so good.
Like, you've got to sit and through that whole series. It was, if you're a gamer, especially if you are a gamer, Goblin Slayer is like a how to be a proper adventurer guide.
Yeah.
And I mean, it can literally just be broken down into an instructional of how to build, have a backstory, how to play a complex character, how to not die all the frigging time. You know what I'm saying?
Goblin Slayer is the anime I always wanted and never knew I wanted.
Yeah.
Like,
it upped our goblin game big time for challenges.
No, dude, it has given me so many good storyline ideas for future games. Ways of murder and mayhem for future games.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's like maybe you don't have to just always increase the CR. Maybe you can introduce the concept of tactics. Now,
definitely. Well, I mean, honestly, this is some of the stuff like, we've had our players that have taken on battles that were definitely not in their favor. Mm-hmm. In complete attack to the DM's wishes. But it makes for good story, know. Yeah. I mean, and he uses the dirtiest, nastiest tactics possible to
he is a brilliant
to accomplish
strategist.
Whatever goal he needs to kill goblins,
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting story. If you're a gamer, especially a tabletop D&D gamer, there's a lot of cool here. I mean, it is a interesting story. The scariest version of goblins I've ever seen. Like there were several times we were going like, what the heck? And I don't mean in a evil, I mean in a disturbingly adaptive, intelligent species. Like, a perfect example of this is why you always make sure to do the full kill. Like, get everybody, man. Don't let anyone get away, because
Yeah, I thought this year also had some really good animes in the sense of, I like the alternate world, animes.
Reincarnated in another world as a slime.
Well, I mean, and that's one of them. Yeah, reincarnated in another world as a slime. Awesome anime, or how I got reincarnated. But
you'll find it. Reincarnated as a slime. You'll find something.
Yeah. You have that one. I think Death March was. I think this year earlier.
Death March was pretty cool.
And then you had
How to Summon a Demon Lord.
How to Summon a Demon Lord.
Yeah, in the ecchi category. Oh, look at that! Lightning Gundam has. What's up, man?
Yeah, Mugen. Goblin Slayer. Yeah, dude. Kind of hate the little,
which one?
The priest. I'm assuming he's talking about priest. Priest. Yeah. The priest and Goblin Slayer. I thought they did not. They didn't really write her or display her as well in the anime as they did the light novel.
I did like the end, though, the way she started using a spell that was never meant to be used that way. I love that kind of use of magic, though.
Yeah.
Beautiful use of magic, I like to take a spell and use it in an unexpected way. Yeah. And she does if you go all the way to the end, she does a really cool version of that I was like.
But yeah, the reincarnated slime, Death March was another good one. And then, what was it?
How to Summon a Demon Lord.
How to Summon a Demon Lord, smartphone.
In another world with my smartphone.
So
I enjoyed this Black Clover season, though I took so long to finish that it might have been from 2017. I fell out of that for a long time and finally caught up. Of course, obvious ones are like My Hero Academia was pure good.
Yeah. Lightning Gundam mentions the whole jailbait scenario, but that's sort of anime. It's actually one of the things that I loved about Death March was that Death March, the protagonist was a older guy who, when he got transported back into the other world, he's a teenager in the body that he gets transported, but he constantly is like, he runs against people that are his age in the he is in the world, and he's like, no, I'm in my head, I'm still 30 years old. He's like, I can't get into these kids.
Yeah, didn't there a part where somebody tried to like engage him to a young girl, and he's like, no, she's like 14. Yeah. He's like, yeah, well, in this world that's okay, and he's like, no.
Yeah, no. He's like, no. As far as how to summon a demon lord. Somebody in the chat room brought this up. It is a little lame. I will say the dub and the sub are very different.
The dub is clearly a slight parody of the original show.
Yeah, the dub, they go a little silly with it. They go actually so silly with the dub that it's actually funny. Makes the cheesiness. Because, How to Summon a Demon Lord is a bit cheesy. But the way they play up the cheese in the dub actually makes the dub possibly a better than the sub.
Yep.
Which is not often, but
I believe Overlord Season 2 was the 2018 one. Didn't you watch that through?
Yeah. Was it Season 2 or Season 3?
Might have been 3.
I don't know.
I want to say 2, but
maybe.
Yeah, Season 2. Like y'all were telling me I needed to watch through it, but I mean, Lizard Man bored me.
Yeah, no, Lizard Man bored me as well.
And I stopped watching the second season.
I mean, I don't think I finished it, so I eventually.
That was our boy Jarek that had finished that on out and said, no, it gets better once you get past the Lizard Man. I'm like, okay.
I got past the Lizard Man, and I thought the whole series was a little slower than I was really into. I mean, I was happy to see this year they got a new season of Certain Magical Index, but I haven't started. I haven't finished watching it because it's also one of those slower animes, and I just haven't been into the slowness. SSS Gridman. I have not watched SSS Gridman. That one is not one I caught. SSS Gridman.
4 S's. 4 S's.
Yeah, Quad S.
It sounds sci-fi-ish, and you know me in sci-fi. That's your stick. Quad S.
Quad S.
But for the most part, anime. Those were some of the ones. I didn't see anything new that just other than like, of course, like Amazings like Castlevania. But even that's a second season.
Yeah.
I didn't see a lot of new series that are like must follows, except of course like Goblin Slayer. Like I'll follow like a season 2 of Goblin Slayer for sure.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely would love to see a season 2 of Goblin Slayer. I hope they continue the reincarnation of a slime.
Oh yeah,
like
that was
that
fun.
one. That one I would definitely see them keep going. Yeah, I've never been big into the mecha animes. So the new mecha animes this year, I don't know much about. That's not really my forte. We may have to get somebody in sometime that is more of a mecha.
Yeah,
mecha
they kind of
anime
oversaturated
person.
the market a few years back with mecha, and I watched a lot, so I have not gotten alpha of. Megalobox is really good. It didn't feel. I didn't even think of it in 2018 for me because I had read the manga a long time ago, but it is good. And
Megalobox. I haven't seen that one.
Hit it up.
Something I
should
should put on my list.
pull it up. I want to make sure I'm not thinking the wrong one because I may be thinking of Madoka. There's two. There's another. Like I just remember there's two that start with box.
Madoka's old.
Madoka.
Yeah.
Madoka. Okay, I may be thinking of Madoka. Then I just looked at it and said, no, I may be thinking of Madoka. Yeah, I was thinking of the wrong one. Yeah, I was thinking of Madoka. That's okay. That makes sense then, because Madoka is older.
Yeah.
Megalobox looks like it might be another mecha, or I don't know though.
Boxing. I saw a boxer when she.
I thought I saw a dude with some goggles, but I'm looking down there at the videos.
I know he looks like he's mechanical.
Oh, that's him on it.
Actually, it has it looks like it has some interesting
Cyber
artwork.
boxer?
Actually, what service is this on? Because I did not see that one.
What the heck is that? I think I'd rather watch Madoka, but looks weird.
Let's see. Adult Swim. Okay. I don't have access, I guess, to Adult Swim, so.
I had to go to just now throwing out every weird thing.
No. Mugen, Mr. Anime Prince. You're gonna just throw out everything. I don't do Adult Swim. Like I just have streaming services, so I don't know if Adult Swim has a streaming service. Does Adult Swim have a streaming service?
I don't know, but I don't do cable, so I don't get the Adult Swim.
Like I have H Dive, I have Crunchyroll, I have Funimation, Amazon, and Netflix.
And you also have Hulu.
And Hulu. So if it's not on one of those, I'll probably miss it.
But comic books.
Yeah.
Let's roll into comic books.
You want to roll in the comic books?
I think you had some interesting things to say about Batman Damnation.
Didn't you want to talk about My Hero Academy or something?
It's amazing, man.
For you. I don't know if you actually got into that conversation.
I said like
not.
It's a well-known.
Okay.
Like I mean, if you don't know about My Hero Academia, like it is the superhero anime of 2018.
Hold on. Why do you have your hand over your face, editor?
No reason.
No reason?
No.
Okay. Okay.
Just your all over the placeness is very entertaining.
Well, I mean that's what we do, man.
There you go,
know.
2018.
I know.
All
over the place.
You would think that I'd be used to it by now.
Yeah. Now 2018, it wasn't all over the place year, so
I looked up. See the editor, man, giving us like the Tokyo Ghoul Re is a good anime.
Yeah. Tokyo Ghoul Re was brought up in the chat room. The first Tokyo Ghoul was all right. I couldn't get into the Re. I
mean, I kind of like the main character kind of getting out of his like bitch phase and into like slightly competent. I like an anime where like, okay, I can deal with the main character still in that kind of, I don't really have a grasp on my abilities. But after a while, I get tired of him getting slapped around. So I guess I kind of said, oh, good. Now he's about to go out there.
Yeah.
I mean, he did have one of those kind of, heel face turns of kind of like, I'm suddenly an a-hole.
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. Why would you bring up?
Well, maybe he just wanted to know that
like
we didn't
Tokyo
like it
Ghoul
too.
Re, and it immediately goes, it's trash. Like,
Yeah.
If we stopped to talk about all the crap that was trash in 2018, we will never get done.
Yeah.
This was a trash year, and then a lot of stuff came out.
Yeah.
But let's you ready for comics?
Yeah, let's talk about some comics. We'll talk about Batman's dick.
You're the one that knows its exact size. Still couldn't believe it. You looked at me and gave me the exact size and dimensions. I was like,
you can't talk about 2018 comics without bringing up Batman's junk.
dude, I don't know my penis size down to the centimeter. Why do you know Bruce Wayne's?
I don't either.
Oh, no. Damn it, spoilers. Shit, now, oh yeah, everybody, sorry, I spoiled. Bruce Wayne is Batman.
For one, I've completely forgot it. For two, it was just some weird bit of information that got brought up at the comic book store, which is why you should support your local comic shop.
Like here in Jackson, Mississippi, Vans Comics and Cards, known for their excellent service and quality.
But yeah, no, I mean, we did the giveaway with Batman Damned
that we got from Vans Comics.
And I mean, I'll be honest, man. Like it was hard to give those away, man. Once
it didn't help that the value of the comics.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying, man.
Quickly.
Like we had gotten 3 copies. One of them cost me like $6. The other 2, was contributed by our local comic shop, Vans, Comic Cards and Games. But the thing is I'm holding on to these things that were worth a total of $18 when I got them. And I'm just watching the total just keep going up. Like by the
40,
time we gave
60,
them,
80, 100.
By the time we gave them away, because we had 2 of the regular covers, 1 of the alt covers, and the combined the combined value of them by the time we gave them away was like $180, $200.
Yeah, nearly $200. So we were just like,
and
that prize got good.
Man, that $18 worth of merchandise we were giving away just
about 10 times value. But we gave it away. That's what it's about. But yeah, man, like that was probably the most interesting non-political comic book thing that happened. Like just Batman's junk, which went over better than I would have expected.
There was some controversy there. I mean I
think it was just the usual nudity controversy.
The digital, they ended up editing it out. There was actually going.
That's why the value went up.
Originally, they were going to do a reprint with it edited out, and then they just said, "No, we're not going to bother doing a reprint." So, I mean, it ended up being that one run, and that was it. Now, to admit that one run was a huge run, to my understanding. I mean, it was like double, I think, what they normally run of a first edition.
Oh yeah.
So they knew it was going to be hot, and the collectors bought the crap out of them early on, and then it was just like, people wanting to actually read it.
Other than that, comics seem to have just been battling it out. Like the comic community has been in an uproar.
And if you take out the whole, Batman's junk controversy, it was actually a decent read. Like I read it, it was good. I thought it was an interesting read. There was a lot more to it than Batman's junk. Like there was,
there also was a lot to Batman's junk.
Had Constantine in it, and some really cool things.
Oh man, I love Constantine, man. I love when he pops up and stuff. He is a cool character to me. He is one of the characters that I like seeing pop up on occasion. You know what I mean? He's a great guest character.
Or was it Constantine, or is it
Because I haven't read it. Like, if you're saying he's in it, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that I read it and saw Constantine, but I like Constantine.
I was just making sure I didn't get my mystical people mixed up. Because, depending on what.
It was Dresden.
I'm bad with names.
There's a really thought under us. It was Dresden, remember?
Yeah. But.
Dresden in the latest Batman comic.
But yeah, no, Constantine, it was a good comic. Other than that, I mean, I don't. I mean, you bring up comics, but I've lost reading comics for a while, man. Like it's hard to.
Hulk's back. He's not dead anymore. Immortal Hulk. They finally brought him back So we no longer have like there for a while they did that alt run, and I don't mean it like that. I mean alternate
they also
run,
brought
they brought in a lot of new heroes to take on the legacy.
They brought Wolverine back they
brought back Wolverine
2018. So.
They Iron Man I think is back active. They've resurrected Hulk again. So that's cool because I wasn't really happy when Bruce Wayne died. So it is cool. Immortal Hulk, and he is kicking butt and taking names. Like he recently stomped one of the side Avengers teams pretty good. So that's cool. But the comic book world, I have to admit, the cinematic world is the better place to be right now because the comics really, you talk about all over the place.
Yeah.
They are buck wild. And then they've been in the center of a lot of conflict.
I was about to say, they've been in some of the political PC, politically correctness and stuff, controversy that's been going on. Which, I mean, your movies and TV have to, we've seen
true.
that.
But the comics,
it was a big year for the controversy of what can be and can't not be done anymore. What?
Well, the funny thing to me is that we've always had a couple of phases of political correctness, but this is the first time it's to be felt like it's gotten so extreme in the form of the middle ground is no longer acceptable.
Well,
like you need to pick a team.
I think the reason that we're noticing it as much as we have, though, is also that comics and tabletop and all that stuff has gotten a little more mainstream again. Like before, a lot of the political climate and stuff like that didn't touch our realm.
We went under the radar.
Yeah, because we were below the line of concern, and now it's reached up to where this is an avenue now. This is an avenue where enough people are involved in it that it can sway. So views and opinions get integrated into things more when more eyes see it.
Yeah, well,
because it holds more meaning at that point,
and it's affecting actual money. Like used to be back when political correctness was like, you might lose a little bit of cash, but you're going to be fine. But this has been sinking and swimming. Comics, some series have ended. It was started up. People have jumped over to other groups, so it's affecting the cash flow and jobs.
Because I mean, hell, dude, get off comic books.
That'd be a new comic, hell, dude.
To get off comic books a little bit, I mean. Look at tabletop and stuff. I mean, tabletop's something we've been into since we were young, back in for me, the late 80s and beyond, I mean, back when I was 8, I was doing tabletop.
So I'm just thinking about, I remember that back in the day, there definitely used to be anti-Nazi disclaimers in the beginning of your gaming book. We do not support Nazis.
Yeah. So, I mean, you had you had these things where your tabletop is even getting influenced by this stuff now. I mean, there's been massive throwback and hits on PC and not PC, to PC, not PC enough. I mean, White Wolf, a vampire, got hit from both directions.
And I always thought that White Wolf was a very open-minded gaming group, but apparently not enough.
Well, and that's the problem, though, because it's become so mainstream. I don't even think it's as much of the people who actually play it that are being the loud voices against it. It's people are looking into things that they're not even into. I mean, we see it in the video game community, we see it in the tabletop community, we see it in the comic book community. A lot of the voices that are out there that speak really loud against or for this stuff aren't even necessarily the people who are invested in it with their money.
Because what happens is when somebody tries to appease any side of the really strongly opinionated fence, they lose money because they end up going for the vocal minority. And the vocal minority is not going to make you money. But here's the main thing I'm going to say. I think this is my best fair way to put it. In 2018, here's the biggest problem I had. There used to be a side over here, and a middle ground. The middle ground is shrinking. The middle ground has shrunk now, and it's hard to just be neutral because neutral isn't acceptable anymore, and that's what's been bothering me because I'm neutral on a lot of this stuff. I just want to play video games. You know what I mean? Let's be honest. I just want to play video games. I want to play tabletop. That's it. And but it's hard to just do that anymore. Because used to be some companies just didn't weigh in on any of that. They just said, you know what? Our game's about elves and dragons. That's all we care about. But now they're like, no, that's not good enough. Like they're actually going, no, you need to have a message. And it's like, no, I just want to have a fantasy world. No, you can't do that. And it's like, and that's working. It used to be they would just go, screw you.
Eventually what you're going to end up with is the tabletop community just coming out with straight rules and quit doing any lore whatsoever, just to and
then everybody custom makes their setting. I mean, we lean toward that anyway. We like, for example, we both like Anima Fantasy. And we have never played in its setting.
I say that maybe because I'm dreaming as well, because I would actually just love something just to throw down some structure and just let me build on top of it and be done with it.
I just do that anyway. I cannibalize systems.
But you have to wave through the.
In other words, you said you wish there was almost like this game that had this set of rules well evened out. You know, kind of almost like a SMD 20-ish type of scenario, where it's like, here are rules. What setting? We don't care.
Yeah.
What are your opinions about gender? We don't even mention it. The word gender is not in the book.
Well, no, and that's the thing. Blood Axe says, I want to escape from politics with elves and dragons, and that's the thing with tabletop. None of this should matter because it's not the real world. This is a fantasy world. The whole point is,
but it's got to be A's fantasy world or B's fantasy world. It can't be yours.
Yeah, which I think is why Dungeons and Dragons and Pathfinder and stuff like that, the fantasy-based RPGs haven't gotten hit by it as much either.
They got touched.
They got touched, but I mean, Vampire and stuff like that took the brunt of it because they're also based off of more modern setting. And I think that's why, they couldn't escape it as easily as D&D.
How dare your evil, blood-sucking monsters be opinionated and unfair?
D&D can introduce a new mechanic where you can change, you can have a fluid sex, but if you don't want to care about it, you don't have to care about it,
How dare you? How dare you not care?
So...
Yeah, I mean, that's the cool part with the game is you just put in what you want and take out what you don't want. And that's why I don't know why they're even bothering, and I don't know any DM that doesn't customize their world.
Well, yeah.
Who really plays it 100% by the book? Really. Every guy I think of I played a game under recently has had their version of the world, so I kind of felt it was unnecessary.
Well, I mean, as a DM, it's hard not to have your version of the world anyway, because, I mean, you're manipulating all these characters, and you're going to... You're using your viewpoint of the world to gauge how these people are going to react and how. Yep. So I mean, it's impossible not to have your flavor, because I can't control a NPC to act from.
By the way, we mean as in the gaming version of the word.
Yeah. To act the way that Michelle sees the world or Q sees the world. I can only do my best to give it from how I think that character will react.
And that's the thing. But that's how, you know what? That just proves your point earlier about a lot of the people that are kind of sticking their nose in don't play because they knew that they'd understand how unnecessary. Because when you try to affect the company, you're trying to tell other people how to play the game. You can do whatever you want in your game already. It's one of the first sentences in every DM's guide. By the way, do what you want. You're the DM.
Yeah.
That's like sentence one is always do what you want.
It's always been why they've strongly pushed out that this is the Dungeon Master's guide.
Yeah, not the Dungeon Master's instructions.
Yeah. It's always been, Are these are the core rules, or they've always put in, that availability because honestly, look, if you stick by the book, you're not going to have a fun game, for one, because eventually there's going to be something that comes up that just makes absolutely no sense going along the rules. You got to be able to be able to change things on the fly. You know,
and I think, like I said, though, I really want to give you props. The more I think about it, the more I love the way you said that it's the people that don't know about tabletop games that are having a problem, because, like, most DMs are sitting there looking like, I think this part of the book doesn't make sense. It's like, yeah, me too. That's why it's not in my game. Like, what are you talking about? Why do they need to put a chapter in there? Look, they can put in the next Pathfinder book at the beginning, like, all elves have to be vegetarian. And I'll immediately go like, yeah, so you walk up on an elf and he's eating a live chicken. I don't care. I'm a DM. Like, I don't need the book to tell me how to run my game, because I don't care what they say. I bought the book and I'll run it how I want. Yeah. So there's no point, because guess what's going to happen? No matter what you yell at White Wolf about, the storyteller running that White Wolf game is going to do his version of the setting no matter what they do. So it doesn't matter what White Wolf puts in their book. If I've decided that all Brujah are meth dealers, then they're all meth dealers. And it doesn't matter if the first sentence in the book is, Brujah never sell meth. I don't care. I don't care. They sell meth in my game. So it's a pointless act. So to us experienced gamers, we're sitting there going like, yeah, that's nice. So anyway.
Once again, what also the point of the books, they rarely say never on anything, because they do know, as soon as they start putting hard caps on something and try to enforce that,
they're going to annoy people.
It's going to be annoying because nobody's going to care anyway. Because, I mean, honestly, who are you to tell me how to play my game?
Do what I want.
Yeah,
I do what I want. How about that?
Thanks for the structure. Thanks for the work there. I appreciate it. But as far as the end result, that's mine.
Yeah, I did that the first thing. I remember, like I said, I got Adam on my behalf. I said, "Man, these rules are good." Then I read the setting and I went, "Yeah, nope." And I've literally never ran a game in Gaia, the core setting for that ever. It had never won. So I'm going like, I don't care what you say. I literally will ignore your entire story.
So 2018 in the tabletop world, like I mean, we had the new V5 of Vampire the Masquerade. We had some source books come in for
I like the rule
5th
system.
ed, and we had Pathfinder 2 beta.
Yeah, and I'm still in a weird place of I'm excited about what it's going to be like when they fix it.
Yeah,
there's so much potential. Do I feel it's there? No.
We were actually talking about this the other day because we went out, because we do this show and everything, and tabletop is sort of a big influence to us. So it was almost a requirement that we go and buy the book and actually dive into it, and we did. And it's an interesting system. It has a lot of mechanics that are really cool, but at the same time, the books are useless now, man. Like that was $40 that
it has already been
already
gone.
Out
of being usable.
Yeah, it's
like I told Zeno, I felt like that this book felt more like an alpha than a play test. Like it felt like it was given to us before anybody tested any of these rules, because we opened the book and immediately ran into some stuff that we went, No, that's not really working. That's not working. Like our boy Jarek immediately said the encumbrance rules don't work. Yeah. Like he immediately looked at it and said these encumbrance rules.
We played it by the rules, and there were several things where we ran across it that I was just like, this is the beta, so we're gonna play it by the rules.
He was fighting house ruling from the door.
I know.
He kept going, no, I can't. Dang it. No, I can't. Like he already had a list of house rules immediately.
Yeah, I did. I had about 5 or 6 before we even started playing. I was like, I can't utilize these right now because this is a beta, and we're trying to give the most accurate play test as we could,
but yet
it was why I couldn't go back to it. That's why I couldn't push us to have to finish those campaigns. I was like, the only way I'm doing this is if I house rule it, and it's sort of.
I ran into the point where I knew I was going to have a hard time avoiding house ruling, and you don't want to house rule a beta. That's not a good idea when you're trying. Not for us. We're showing it to you. We're supposed to be showing it to you the way it's supposed to be done.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, if we got called by Paizo and they said, "Hey, man, like, show us how this should be working. Then we'll be like, oh, all right, Dicejunkies version.
Yeah.
Be like Pathfinder and Playtest, TJ version, house rule and some stuff and roll. But at the same time, I'm still excited to see what the final product will be because I liked it. It's just I felt like what I got in my hands was like the Fallout 76 first release version. It's like, ooh, man, you forgot to finish this. You forgot to patch this a couple of times.
That's the No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky, yeah. like patch this and send it to me. Now, if Paizo, I will say this. Please don't get mad at me, but Paizo, I do think you need to send me an errated version of the playtest rules because that book I have is a paperweight.
You owe me, Paizo.
I know, I'm just saying that playtest book I have is unusable compared to how much they've already fixed. Because you remember you commented, you're the one that said it used to be there would be enough light changes you could take a pen.
Yeah, no, I mean, I somewhere there's a D&D a book that I have light changes on because it was one. Well, of course, I didn't tend to do as much betas. It was just like the first edition was beta. The first print was beta.
But you'd have to reprint the playtest book. You'd have to pull out whole pages and reprint them.
And you knew they were going to reprint it with a bunch of fixes. But you could go through and change them
or memorize it. Like, oh no, they changed that. Yeah. That. But you can't just scribble in the borders, the footnotes. It's changed enough now that you need a new book.
I think printing a beta book is just a bad idea.
Yeah.
Which I mean, like I said, they did do free PDFs, so I can't complain too much because we could have used PDF. When I run a game, I like to be able to just pop open a book and flip to a page real quick because I still find it more convenient. I like the use of electronics when tabletop, but I still think they're a bit of a distraction at times, and it's easy for me to flip to a page and hand the book over to somebody so they can look at it themselves rather than trying to do a search on my computer and then try to hand my computer over.
Yeah, and I mean the final thing on that we don't want to keep going is just all that one thing is that I am gonna buy the next thing to put out. Like I like the Pathfinder 2nd edition that they're putting together. I'm still planning to buy the next book that hits because I want it. It's just, it still is. It's still being.
It was still
updated.
very raw.
Yeah, they're a good way to put it. Raw, I like that word, raw.
And I know when they originally released the beta, they were planning on a final release in the summer of 2019. I'm curious if they're going to hit that mark.
We haven't been following it.
Look up Pathfinder
2nd
edition release date. See if it's still scheduled for.
She was getting too comfortable over there. Good job.
I know. She looked like she was about to fall asleep. She needs some more coffee. Yeah. Apparently, we're not entertaining enough for her. I don't know.
Right. Well, we just talking more about Batman's junk.
But.
No, that's Kingmaker. Yeah. You guys don't know how awesome it is watching an editor slowly struggle through the typing.
August 2nd, 2018 was when the beta was released. So it's still saying August 2019 for the actual final release. So we'll see.
Hey, man, I'm looking forward to it, y'all. I mean, I want to see what the finale is going to be. So, I mean, they've never to me put out just absolute trash. So I'm expecting it's going to get a polished
and hopefully none of their monsters manual was.
We did hate all
that monster manual
of the
was
way
so
they
bad.
did the monsters.
It was so bad.
That generalization based
like
on
I
CR
said, I'm hoping
bad.
that was just something they threw together quick just to have something out there for the beta. Because those monster stats and abilities made no sense.
Okay, as a number jockey and OCD about it, the fact that they did not calc any of the numbers based on stats or anything for the monsters made our math heads explode. We were both going these numbers don't add up. These numbers. Then we finally found out it's because they literally ignored.
Yeah, it was just
the numbers.
They just threw a CR, and whatever the CR was is how they based the attack rolls and stuff. Was off the CR and nothing to do with stats.
Like why is this creature fight as good as this creature when this creature has a strength of 25 and this one has a 13? What's going on? Like, I need math to add up, man, okay?
Yeah, and they didn't have any kind of special abilities tagged to them to make the numbers work like some creature. Some creatures, the stats don't equal their thing, but this is because they have some kind of innate ability or something, trait or something that
also
actually
damage balance a bit because the damage output varied still. So a 1 CR monster might do a D4 -1, and another one might do a D8 +4. But they're the same CR, and you're like, that doesn't work out. So I think we had that problem with goblins and something else where like the damage output was hugely different.
The way that crits work, it made it really dangerous as well. So we'll see how that goes. We'll keep you up to date as we find out more information on that. So I mean, that's what we're here for.
So final score for 2018, man. What do you think? As a year?
As a year in our community, like the geek realm. I mean, I do point out a lot of bad stuff, but I mean, I had a lot of fun for 2018. Some of the cons were really fun. We got to hang out with some really cool people. We met some really cool people. I mean, like if I'm doing a personal score, I still rate it decent. I mean, if I'm going with the good 1 out of 20, the D20 scoring system like we use on our board game reviews, I'd probably give the overall year probably a 12 or a 13 total. So, I mean, not bad.
I shall maintain my middle-of-the-road neutrality and give it a perfect 10 out of 20. Right in the middle. And the reason why is because I kind of enjoyed the crap show because I'm a bad person to a degree. So I can't give it less than 10 because some of the controversy kept things interesting. But I am optimistic for 2019. I believe that in 2019, a lot of the things that were a problem in 2018 will burn out and will come out better for it.
Were you not listening, Mugen, Lightning Gundam? He's like best superhero movie of 2018.
Spider-Man.
We already said it, yes.
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is my call for best superhero movie of 2018, man. As much as I liked Avengers, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse has me more excited for a sequel than the second Infinity Wars movie.
So, all right.
Rep Miles Morales, man.
So, anything from the chat room before we wrap this up? I guess any more questions? Any more 2018 relative information? We'll do some last shout outs if there's anything. If not, we're gonna wrap this up here. And so we got several things that we have planned for 2019. We've got some new shows we're working on. We've got some new material. We're gonna try to up some scheduling. Maybe try to stick with the scheduling. Yeah. I have fixed the script for the podcast, so the podcast should be uploading properly again. We'll work on getting some new guests on, stuff like that as well. Maybe Blood Axe can take a visit up here in Jackson. I mean the coast and Jackson, they're not too far apart, man.
Hit us with days, man. I mean, we love having folks on, and we're not snobs. We won't be like, you don't have the rep to be. No, just come on.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll get the Anime Prince back on to talk about some mecha anime or something.
Yeah, we could sit there and just look at him and be like, this loser wants to talk about mecha.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to do it, man, at least talk about the good stuff. I mean, I've heard, like, the Voltron series was amazing.
Maybe we can holler at some of our cosplayer community, get some of them back on.
They have been busy, man. They have been working it. Like, they have been out there hustling. Like, I'd love to catch some of them when they can actually come on again. But, we follow a lot of them on Instagram, and they have been rocking the events.
Yeah. But, yeah, so we've got our Friday show with Tim Tuttle of Eldritch Ash Studios. He does a miniature painting show for us.
You say Eldritch Ass?
Eldritch Ash.
That was a new version. Be like, did he change the name of his show? That's cool. I'm gonna watch it now.
And Thursdays we try to get out our board game reviews. We also do a live stream of us playing some board games every Thursday.
Tell them about in February there will be another gameplay night with the Dicejunkies.
Yeah. We're looking at trying to do another stream of us talking crap at each other and beating the crap out of each other in DOA when that comes out. So
we love abusing our guests on. We have some more people. Maybe we can beat that guy game and Malcolm to come out for another beatdown.
Yeah. We're looking at starting to do some interview series and stuff. So all that good stuff. Apparently, Blood Axe is doing a shout out to his wife. Mrs. Blood Axe turns 40 on Tuesday. Hey. Well, happy early birthday, Mrs. Blood Axe. Hope you have a great 40th birthday.
Happy birthday.
There you go. Okay, I think that's going to wrap us up then. We'll quit rambling on. Thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, all that good
Patreon.
stuff. Well, I was going to get to that point. But, you follow us there. You can see all the new stuff that we're going to put out, get posted up. And be sure to, if you want to support us, help us out. Help us continue to grow this content and, maybe be able to pay our editor to do a little better editing. I don't know. You can help us out on Patreon at patreon.com/Dicejunkies. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a good one. Hope you enjoy.